let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.
Well, that was a complete accident, but other than that, flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here with my special guest, Jared from Comics.
Oh, I so believe that was an accident.
I'm serious. That was a complete accident.
Sure it was. Sure it was.
All right, but banter aside, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. But before we move on, I know this is officially the beginning of Volume 2 of the New Direction verse. After Godkiller 2, I will leave a video to both Godkiller 2, the video itself, and maybe the Aftermath video in the description and up top. That way you're most, and please be sure to follow the playlist too, so you're all caught up. But do you think a recap is necessary, or should we just dive right into it?
I think we should do a recap. And by the way, if this were ever collected in an omnibus, there would be a big ass omnibus. Oh my gosh! You thought the Blackest Night one was thick?
Okay, all right. Quick recap is basically this would have been around the time. Let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, we have our version of the Cadmus arc. The Justice League reflects on that. They agree to expand and acknowledge international regulations, and they help expand and add more heroes if willing to join the league. Basically, JLU. Mm-hmm. Shazam feels disillusioned when all is said and done, especially how Scion, because he's New 52 Superman, behaved himself during this arc, because he gets into a, let's just say, macho measuring contest with Lex Luthor, even though classic Superman tells him, I've known Luthor for decades, he's baiting you, and then Scion just doesn't listen.
And what's so funny, I just watched this episode of Justice League Unlimited.
Ironic. God, I need that clip. But needless to say, basically Shazam scours the galaxy trying to help wherever he can. Basically, it's similar to Superboy, Man of Tomorrow, that miniseries. The only difference is Billy is actually trying to do some good, unlike Connor, who is trying to relive his glory days. But so needless to say, he's traversing in space. Thor, and I want to be explicitly clear as possible to everyone in the back and to anyone who's joining us, this is mythologically accurate Thor.
This ain't MCU Thor. This ain't the wuss from the MCU. Yes, I said it.
Okay, Jared trying to start controversy aside. Imagine God of War Ragnarok, that Thor. Okay, all right, good. Okay, so with that being said, let's just say Billy, despite the wisdom of six gods, thinks it's a good idea to pick a fight with this man. And it doesn't go well.
Oh boy.
More details in Italian video. But anyway, Thor marches down to Earth because he's ordered by Odin to pick up Loki, who's kind of scheming across the cosmos. Like, hey, I know you have him here, and you don't give him up, we'll make you. Simple as that. Scion picks a fight with Thor and refusing, especially after hearing what happened to Billy. And the Godkiller 2 video speaks for itself. I won't spoil it here, but it is brutal.
Watch that video. You will not regret it.
So, quick recap aside, where do you think we are, Jared? Like, where do we go from here?
All right. So, as to reflect, remember, Barry Allen is legless at this point. And what's up, Tevia? He doesn't have legs in this right now because Thor kind of shattered them, like literally shattered them. So he's kind of in traction, as is most of the league. So he's kind of gotten some time to reflect. Hey, what's up, Salty?
Hey, how you doing? Salty? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you.
Yes, sub to all of my co-hosts. These guys are awesome. So the way I think we take Barry is he's dealing with the guilt of Flashpoint, because remember, this is still like New 52 DC for the most part. So this is all because Barry went back in time and saved his mom.
True.
Yeah. Wally is in another thing. We're strictly dealing with Barry right now.
But if you answer your question, yes, original Wally West does take up the mantle during Barry's recovery. I mean, he's already effectively the Flash of the JLA, so it's pretty much business as usual. But does Wally visit Barry, or is he still avoiding him, still feeling petty about what Barry did?
I think he's still I think he's recovering. Like, he's still like getting over it, but it's not. But he's probably like, I can't be like friends with you right now, but I don't hate you.
But I feel like the next step is, how far would you say Barry and Iris are in their relationship, and whether Iris would visit him?
I would say at this point she is like, I think she of all people, I think is most likely and the quickest to like heal, if you will, because it's more like she still loves Barry, so it still kind of works.
Not yet, Tevia, not yet. But okay, so let's just say for the sake of simplicity, Iris, despite all the New 52 shenanigans, Iris figures out, hey, this is Barry. Barry didn't show up to work today, and well, around the same time, one of the Flashes loses their ability to, well, run. So put the pieces together. Barry's the Flash. Barry took a lightning strike from Thor's hammer to save the other Flash and lost his legs as a result. And like, Barry, I know you're the Flash, or one of them now, and regardless of how you think or what you believe you deserve, you did the right thing and you saved a lot of lives. Whatever that other Flash's beef with you, I think you've paid it 100 times over by now. You just don't know, Iris. You just don't know. If you knew what I did,
what I saw, because remember Flashpoint.
Okay, all right. Where was I? Again, there is nothing refuting Bart Allen's existence in the New 52, Tevia. But where was I? Oh, yes. Basically, Barry and Iris promptly reconnect without the secret identity getting in the way, and Cyborg is actually working on a special armor for Barry until he fully recovers. And if you can tell by our background, it's something similar to that.
Yes, exactly. Or we could even make it more like the Nightmare Flash suit. You know, the one that had the helmet that like opens up?
Either or. Maybe
she's the key. It's the she's the key armor. That's what it is.
Does she know about Flashpoint? Jared, you want to tackle this one?
I think our Iris does, because at one point, well, actually, you know what? Let's have her find out about it now. There's no, if any, because she just found out Barry's the Flash. So of course, previous to that, she wouldn't know. It's Lois Lane. She's the key. That was the worst line in BVS. So anyway, this is where he tells her exactly what happens. He goes back in time, saves the world. I mean, he goes back in time, saves his mom, and then the world goes to hell in a handbasket, to put it lightly.
And then I had to make this right, but not everything remained the same. There are inconsistencies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like now Bruce, like in the original timeline, Clark was married to Lois.
Included but not limited to the fact that I have 2 nephews now.
Oh, and then Barry leans in. Actually, Clark seems a lot happier now than he was in the original timeline. I have to. You know me, Jade. I have to dunk on Lois.
Hey, I did accidentally play the wrong intro, so I kind of owe you. So
yeah, thank you. That's my payback. We're not dealing with Wally's kids.
Not right now, Tevia. That comes later. But so yeah, Barry and Iris just have a long talk and just process everything, and then out there in the infirmary and off at the other side of the one-sided glass, Wally, outside of costume, is just looking into the distance, and I'm like, I shouldn't be here. After everything that happened to the League, Metropolis.
Did someone say Lois Lane? Someone please give me a barf back. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy. Randy's on my side. He is on my side.
We're talking about Barry, Wally, and Iris. Where did Lois even get in this video?
Tevia brought it up. She's the key.
I walked right into that, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, sir.
And then now, usually Wally and Artemis kind of, have been by the hip, but I want to give Barry and Wally, since they're both Flashes, their own retrospection. So Artemis is not going to make an appearance in this video. Instead, it's Scion.
Oh, yes. So
After
Scion
he's gotten
walks
through,
in.
after he's gotten through beating Apollo to a pulp.
Yes. I love that. That's canon in any of my fan stories.
To a pulp, he's pretty much like jaded. Like, even Billy is like, it'll be a long time before he's even remotely active to play superhero again. His injuries are so bad, they're kind of hard to explain away. Like, Billy, next to Hawkgirl and maybe Wonder Woman, Billy got the worst of it.
To a degree, yes, I agree with that.
So Scion is like, I did this. All of this.
It's
Wally,
majorly my fault because I like, what's the word? I like provoked Thor.
Thor's a brute, Clark. He was going to pick a fight regardless of your bravado. Hell, he was practically battle rusted after a mere child was able to mimic the power of the gods in his mind. Knowing Scion, your guy, he's going to be pissed about new pre-52 Superman's death.
Well, yeah, because he still kind of blames himself for it.
To an extent, like he could beat Apollo into an inch of his life, but it's not going to make him feel better. He'll be supercharged, but it won't make him feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And so from here, Wally and Clark and Scion kind of talk, and it's just like, I shouldn't be here. I held so much anger for him for so long, and even in spite of it, he still took the shot for me. This isn't speaking to Mjolnir when Thor just whisks it out of his hand, aiming directly for... I don't think I can even comment on it without risking you getting demonetized. It is ugly.
Well, here's the thing, Jay Heat. Here's the good part about me being a guest on your show. I don't get demonetized.
All right. Basically, what happens is Mjolnir trying to counter the speedsters. Barry intercepts it, taking the hit for Wally, but it impacts him dead center in the spine.
Yeah, you thought the killing... I gotta say, Jay Heat, that seems like a real killing joke. I got him to walk away on his own show. Yes! There you go. There you go. I love that.
No comment.
Sure you
don't.
No comment. Sure you don't.
Again, that's a separate tie-in.
And a separate one, Tevia.
So they talk for a bit. Scion is like, he's just kind of like, he's actually helping Cyborg work on Barry's armor as a token of goodwill, since half of this is likely his fault.
Mm-hmm.
And then Iris goes, instead of brooding like an idiot over there, you can walk in here. We're just having a conversation.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I love that.
And then Wallace is like, I almost said Wally. Wallace. Wally is flabbergasted. Thank you.
Deladia!
Hey, Deladia, what's up?
Yeah.
All in good fun, Deladia. All in good fun. But needless to say, Wally kind of... This isn't the first time Iris has told Wally off from one of his stubborn streaks. So he kind of begrudgingly walks into Barry's hospital room, and I'm like, now... regardless of all this time travel stuff in the Speed Force, I put up with a lot of your respective crap over the years. So you two are going to sit down and talk this out.
And it sounds like, yes, ma'am.
What are you saying? This has nothing to do with you. Well, I am partially guilty for Barry's condition. But, Jared, what do you think about this? What's your report?
I like that. Now the other things that I would bring up, and by the way, Ted says, yeah, Iris, but the thing that, so they have the conversation about I should delete John Kent from my. I would delete John Kent from my new direction first. Flavia. So then, what would I?
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Andy.
yeah!
Thank you.
Yeah!
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We try, and check out Legacy, where Britt and I tie together a lot of stuff. So anyway, going to this, because what this is really dealing with, this would be like a filler issue per se on our story. It's like a nice little cool down after the. I'm trying to be very. Yeah, exactly. Bloodbath. That was any Godkiller story. It's like Godkiller, dude. We would have to make it an in continuity Black Label story in order to properly.
Because editorial would not let us get away with this.
No. Oh, God, no. Plus, they wouldn't. There's no way if the Comics Code was still around, they would approve this book. Oh, God.
And fun fact, the Comics Code Authority was officially disbanded just before the New 52 in 2011. It was like a couple of months.
Haha. So the way I could see it is like he's dealing is like this could also be where Barry explains to Scion about Flashpoint, because he could say, and then he expects Scion to like explode at him, and what happens is Scion just basically says, "Hey, we've all made mistakes. I'm the reason why your legs are like that, because instead of handling this instead of confronting Thor like a mature adult, I threw the first punch."
Well, to be fair, he did brutalize an angsty 13-year-old boy. You kind of had a right to be angry.
That's a good point, but I feel like I could have ended that a lot better.
I feel like the main misconception of any Superman is that he has all this power, but he has to constantly restrain himself. It's about actions and consequences. Basically, DC's equivalent of with great power come great responsibility.
Yeah.
And Scion is learning that lesson the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is, instead of Uncle Ben, just about half of Metropolis is destroyed. And somehow New 52 Lois Lane still survives.
Somehow Lois Lane returned. I had to. And you could see Henry Cavill just going, somehow Lois Lane survived.
Yeah, editorial will try to sabotage us every step.
Well, here's the thing. In this scenario, we are the heads of DC, so they can't say anything. If anything, we would destroy editorial.
Iris, what? I feel like that's a separate matter entirely, because I feel like with Artemis,
we're not dealing with. Okay, Tevia, in this video, we are not dealing with anything that has to do with Wally West.
No, he is just a brief cameo because it's trying to wrap up his arc and his feud with Barry.
That's it. That's it. We're not going that deep into Wally.
If you want us to cover a Flash or pitch for Flash Forward, that is a separate video, and you are welcome to request that of us. But we are not doing it here.
Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, I can imagine. By the way, they give Barry like a cyborg that designs him like a nano legs,
something like that.
Because you would need something that could withstand super speed.
And maybe some leftover Kryptonian tech from the Fortress will do some good.
Yes, exactly. Because, and by the way, in the new direction versus the Kryptonian tech, basically looks like it did in Man of Steel. That's basically what we're doing. So, they continue this conversation about, it's really, yeah, you're right. It is like the great power with great responsibility arc. And then Barry asks, how's Diana doing? And Scion's like, well, I have her up at the Fortress. She's dealing with her own guilt for what happened.
I mean, and this would basically be our version of the Maxwell Lord controversy, where it was a rather forceful situation. But bad PR aside, you really shouldn't treat your wife like that. Diana's not my wife.
No,
oh please, no. With Hippolyta, you're practically married.
Thank you, but no, but by the way, he says you shouldn't treat your wife like that. It was Diana's choice. Diana requested it because the way Wonder Woman is feeling right now. Because remember, this is after. Do you mind if I like recap basically what happened?
Just right. I don't mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She got a Red Lantern ring and went nuts and attacked, and basically is part of the reason why the entire place was wrecked. So she's dealing with a lot of guilt. She doesn't feel like she's worthy to be Wonder Woman right now. So she's like, lock me up in the Fortress. We'll do a video because for some reason, in all of our time doing New Direction, we never did a Wonder Woman. video.
And I got the thumbnails made. We got like a whole trilogy.
Oh, Jay Heat somehow has practically an entire year's worth of thumbnails prepped. Somehow, it's like we got this idea, and he's like he like threw up a bunch of images. Make me 80 thumbnails. So we are going to do that, and that story is good. Her guilt is basically going to be told in that story, in that video, and her overcoming that guilt.
But I feel like we're forgetting someone in all this. Bart.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like around this time, like, hey, this some big calamities happen. Let me go back to the past and see what's going on. But when he crosses back, they don't know who I am. They don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I've actually interacted with the past, and suddenly they don't know who I am.
Oh yeah, because we can make it while he was in the time stream going back. That's when Flashpoint happened and like wiped everyone's minds and stuff.
Bartor, what are you doing here? Why does that sound like an angsty disco player? No, my name is Bart. That sounds like a version of Booster Gold with super speed. You know what? No.
And Booster's like, hey! If current day DC offered you a writing job, would you take it? It depends on the character, and it depends on how much creative freedom I have. Because if I can dunk on the current continuity in everyone's books, I would so do that. You kidding me, Jay? They wouldn't even have to pay us. We would so dunk on everyone's books.
I feel like what Scott Lobdell was trying to do with Bartor is that, like, hey, he was a convict or framed for something. He thrust it into the timeline, the attempt to save himself, and then from the cosmic whiplash, he ended up with amnesia. At least that's what I interpreted, but I barely got through Scott Lobdell's Teen Titans run when we did Young Justice. Jesus Christ! Mm-hmm. But that aside, okay, I'm not gonna risk spoiling the future because that would be way below the mode. Little Young Justice reference right there. Yeah. But let's just say I'm a friend of the family. I think I could recognize my own grandson Bartholomew. Okay, is Grandma Iris a living paradox now?
I guess she kind of is. And then Scion goes, consider me whelmed. I had to.
I walked right into that. I regret.
Yes, you did. The minute you said Young Justice.
So this is just I know this video has a lot of talking. So let's spice things up with a little bit of action. Because remember, with like any paradox, Thawne is still around.
Oh, yes. I would love that. So you could say that like Thawne is like disguised as a doctor and he's like walking by listening to Barry.
It would be so easy.
It would be so easy. But where's the fun in that?
I'll let you relish in your anguish. A small tease of what I have in store.
Yeah.
And then when the real doctor starts circling around the corner, he kind of just phases his hand and.
Although I have an idea here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Right. So hear me out on this. We can undo this afterwards. He shows up and does the whole vibrating hand thing through Iris. He kills Iris.
I could see that, and then Bart ceases to exist, and then, but that maybe later that would be kind of too soon right now.
And Reverse Flash is like, hey, two birds with one stone.
That is something Thawne would do.
And then he pops down. And he goes, "It was me, Barry." And then he pops back into the time stream.
But I feel like he could do. Now that's hard to top. That's hard to stop. But I feel like Thawne would go for the jugular here. He wouldn't target Iris right now because Barry and Wally would anticipate that. He goes after the copy, the doppelganger.
You mean Bartor?
No, Wallace. Because remember.
Oh, so we're killing Wallace. Ooh.
I didn't say we were killing Wallace, but let's just say Wallace gets hurt really, really.
Oh, I know what he could do. Remember in in Red Death when Batman Flash significantly sped up Wallace West's age until he was an old man.
And Bartor will play a role in Invasion, Tevia.
Mm-hmm.
But needless to say, Wallace is just minding his own business. He said, on Iris is visiting Barry in the hospital. Hello, Wallace. You and I are going to have a little chat.
It's time I made you a tad more mature.
Who are you and why are you wearing that costume? Oh, Ace, Ace, Ace. Not only did your daddy not want you, you weren't even supposed to exist.
What DC characters can't you do an impression of? We've got Constantine, Amanda Waller, and now Reverse Flash.
I think I do a pretty decent Batman, but that's a topic for a different day.
Yeah.
So so this is basically similar to the Rebirth scene. Basically, Barry leaves the hospital with his wheelchair. Scion and Cyborg will be reconstructing his armor. It will take a few days. So, and then they realize Wallace is in a bloody heap, and he's constantly phasing in and out of the floorboard.
Oh, geez, that's awesome.
So
I got it. He takes Wallace and like phases him down until the floor comes up to like half him right here, and then just leaves him there.
Yep. We can get, and then they do a bunch of speed logic to basically exposition dump and how it's happening. There is a way, but we're gonna have to actually infuse some Speed Force energy into throughout the house. It would create a kinetic feedback loop, which will likely cause the house to explode. So basically recreating the instant accident that gave you your powers. Scientifically speaking, yes. But he may not have powers, but he'll survive. But this is a superhero comic, so we know Wallace gets powers.
Mm-hmm.
I know Wallace originally gets his powers from the Speed Force Storm, but I feel like that was more of a contrivance more than anything, so we might as well just have him get his powers here.
True.
Good news is Ace is alive. Bad news is Iris's house has exploded.
Yeah, and then Iris like, I'm married to a superhero. That happens every week.
You sure have a habit of ruining my fun. Thawne. And then Barry tries to instinctively charge up to the point where he's melting his wheelchair.
Yeah, there you go.
What's wrong, Bartholomew?
Mm-hmm.
It seems your legs have been cut from under you.
Okay, let me see. Where else can we go? Oh, he also goes to Scion and he goes, oh, Scion, how's Wonder Wife?
She sure
That's
had
a reference to DC Milk Wars. Yes, I referenced Milk Wars. That was Wonder Woman's name, Wonder Wife.
Oh.
I had to. That was low-hanging fruit, man.
Keep her name out of your damn mouth.
I see what you did there, Jay Heat. And then Superman walks up and slaps Reverse Flash across the face.
What's wrong, Boy Scout? Having a bad day? Because I'm about to make it worse. Though, not only did you end up in your doppelganger's shadow, you were so pathetic in comparison. He was like a daddy to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, I got it. And he was more like a daddy, but also he seemed to be your replacement.
Okay, that's better. Because I feel like that last bit was too close to Joker, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Nemo Strange, thoughts on Wally West? Which Wally West are we talking about?
Because there's technically two now.
There's technically two. If you're talking about red-haired Wally West, I like him. If you're talking about other Wally West, not interested.
He's okay. What's that supposed to mean, Jared?
I mean, in terms of his characters his stories aren't compelling to me. Because I know why he was created. They only keep him around because they don't want people to scream racism if they were to switch him back.
Okay, all right, that clear up aside. Now Wallace is in the hospital and he's still like phasing in and out. You need to breathe. You need to calm down. I was literally pressed up against the floor, almost skewered by nails and floorboard and cement. I was practically buried alive. And Vic is like, you need to calm down, Wallace.
Or this won't, or otherwise you're going to be turned into a human lightning rod.
I'm already a freaking lightning rod. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, wait. And Nemo asked, I meant red-haired Wally West. How is he working your direction verse? Wally is going to be addressed in another video later, but we are addressing him. Yes.
I watched Justice League Christ 2 weeks ago and loved it.
Thank you. Thank you, Wamba.
And Alex got better in Jeremy Adams. I feel like Joshua Williamson did pretty decent with what he was given. But yes, by the time the Jeremy Adams run rolled around, he was improved. Now,
I still see him as redundant.
Nemo, to answer your question, in our New Direction verse, Wally is still bitter over Barry for Flashpoint and thus the erasure of his relationship with Linda and his kids. But he's kind of moving on with Artemis as a wink, wink, Young Justice. So I feel like Wally's and after what happened in Godkiller, yeah, you got to call it even at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, like he literally, I'm trying to be appropriate here, but he took Mjolnir to the spine for you. That is a death sentence in most instances.
But because of his like enhanced healing, Barry Wamba says he's now watching Zack Snyder's Justice League on DVD. That's a good time, my friend. That is a really good time.
Says the guy who's watched it 15 times.
About to start 16.
Wait, you're getting rid of the West family? No, we're trying to building it up because we have to combine the pre-Flashpoint stuff, the original New 52 template, and then have New Direction verse proper replace Rebirth.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff on our plates right now, so we're trying to do this. We're doing it the way DC doesn't do it. In other words, we're not rushing. Because DC will rush. That's the problem.
Still, Cyan is fighting Thawne, and it is not going in his favor at all.
Because here's what you got to understand about Superman. Yeah, he is fast. That is 100% true. Not as fast as any speedster, because Superman is not a speedster.
Would you say Jay Garrick is faster than him?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because isn't Jay Garrick also still connected to? Oh no, he got his powers by inhaling the fumes of hard water.
He got exposed to the Speed Force later on, but not when he got his powers.
I'd still say faster because Jay Garrick is still classified as a speedster, and Superman is not a speedster.
He's fast compared to the norm, but he's not Flash fast.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Wallace West kids, Flash, we're not dealing with We're not dealing with any of that stuff right now, Tevia. Which speedster could Superman beat? That is a good question.
That's a good question. Max Mercury?
Maybe Jesse Quick or Liberty Bell. Maybe someone there.
You know, Jesse Quick originally recently rebranded as Liberty Bell as a nod to her mom. So, wait, wasn't he in the controversial storyline where she ended up dating her mother's fiance?
In a world where Avengers 200 exists, that is very believable. In a world where we almost got the R word of Wonder Woman, I would believe that.
Yeah, that is true. Daniel West, I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah, it's Superman with body Daniel West.
I feel like the original New 52 run would be relatively the same prior to all the Godkiller stuff. Because...
You mean the Flash run?
Yes, the Flash run.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm fine with because I loved that Manipul Flash run. Loved it.
And even then, he ends up getting a bit of a redemption arc in New 52 Suicide Squad anyway. So I would leave Daniel West relatively the same.
Yeah, and just put him on the Suicide Squad. Put all the crappy characters that we don't want to deal with on the Suicide Squad. Hell, if we could, just put Wallace West in the Suicide Squad.
Dude, that is dark.
I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, of course.
But needless to say, that did happen in the 90s. Oh, never mind. That he's talking about something else.
Mm-hmm.
But so where were we? Yeah, Scion is just getting his butt kicked by Thawne. Thawne's barely even breaking a sweat. And he's like, I'm a living paradox. You really think you can tangle with the likes of me, let alone any ordinary speedster? It's about time we found out.
And then again, that they engage in more combat and battle.
But Scion goes out of his way to lead Thawne away from the city. And the best way I could describe this is the angriest and most self-loathing Scion has ever been. The closest I could describe this is the Justice Lords episode, that prologue sequence where the Justice Lords debuted.
Yeah, exactly. Except he's not going to turn evil. I want to be clear on that.
So Wally has to race over and talk Scion down from ending Thawne.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
My problem with
DC is Superman has a lot of abilities that they don't use. Yeah, exactly. He does Superman has more powers than people think he does.
No, I was referring to Jesse Quick dating her mother's fiance, which I think was 90s, early 2000s.
That's so 90s. That's so 90s.
But okay, my problem with DC is that liability. Okay, we already established that. Don't look, Thawne, Hunter Zolomon, they've given me a lot of crap over the years, but we've always proven we could be better. Clark proved we could be better. If you strike him down, you're no better than he is.
He's too dangerous to be left alive. Choosing Star Wars now. He has control of the Speed Force and speed. He's too dangerous to be left alive. I was trying to improvise that. I had the first one, but I didn't have the second one. And Wamba, yes, I already pre-ordered Suicide Squad.
But because again, all right, so how would we wrap this up? Okay, because we got character building, we got Wallace getting his origin, Barry and Wally reconciling, and now we have an action theme with Scion versus Reverse Bond, Reverse Flash. So I feel like the best way to wrap this up would be for Wally to, you know what? Screw it. He pretty much channels all the Speed Force he has currently wielding and pretty much fires the Speed Force surge directly at Thawne.
Like Miles in Spider-Man 2 with his unlimited power move.
Unlimited power!
Yeah,
Beat you to it, Jared.
Yeah, he basically does. Yeah, exactly. We will be co-streaming Suicide Squad. Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how to make that work, but we will be doing that.
So Thawne gets pushed back. He's barely able to stand right now. Scion goes to finish the job, but then Wally stops him. Clark, no. Every breath he takes, you're responsible. Maybe, but at least it's better than stooping to his level. There's always a price.
And then Scion says, any life he takes is on you.
And yes, we are using dialogue from Justice Lords.
Yes, exactly. We don't need the Tornado Twins, Tavia. We don't always need the kid characters.
While Wally and Scion are debating, Thawne regains consciousness thanks to his speed healing and has just enough time to get a cheap shot in. So he goes for Wally because he's technically off guard right now until he gets tagged by Deadshot. Because remember, Batman is being leveraged to work with Waller after what happened with the Joker.
Mm-hmm. Nemo has an interesting point. You should do a Comics League review on A Crisis on Infinite Earths and its impact, Jared. What could be the potential? What are the potential kids of Barry Allen be? I think Barry Allen is still his grandson of Great One. Yeah, I'm going to do a review, a full-on video review of Crisis. in the near future, probably next week or the week after. It's going to happen.
Interesting, Tevia. Very interesting.
We have,
But we'll save that for our. You know what? I was going to save this, but we might as well.
A Reverse Flash ain't taking down Superman.
No. So after Deadshot, basically the scene in Injustice 2 where Deadshot kind of snipes Barry, but instead it's Thawne. But while I'm looking for this, Jared, your response?
He's not going to take down Scion, so that ain't happening. The revenge on the Flash family, yes, that will happen. And Taladia says actually what could be a good idea is a New Direction verse Crisis on Infinite Earths. That would be complicated.
That would be very complicated.
Oh boy.
That would be very complicated. But hey, if you guys want it, we'll rise to the challenge.
We'll figure some way to make it work.
Okay.
Oh, Nemo has an interesting suggestion. Deadshot has temporary speedster powers. The world's deadliest speedster.
You sure you're not confusing him for Deathstroke and Lazarus Contract?
Oh god, it's Ladia content. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's what it is. Because Crisis took place in the 80s. Yeah, it would be, but we would find some way to make it work. Oh, New Direction Convergence, because that was pretty much New 52 Crisis on Infinite Earths.
You're welcome.
Oh,
gentlemen.
God. You're welcome. I love that. Yes. That is excellent. I love that. Yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that.
At some point, we'll build up. This will probably be like the beginning of Volume 3. I haven't decided yet, but
look at Tevia. Oh, God.
Thank you, Taladia. Thank you.
Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. But yeah, we could do New Direction Convergence.
We kind of technically have to because that pretty much kicks off New Direction.
And then guess what? Here's our New Direction for DCU. Are you ready? We don't do it. Done. There you go. We fixed DCU. We just don't do it. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, okay, so Thawne gets taken down by Batman's makeshift Suicide Squad, but they know they can't hold him. Thawne will find some way to break out.
Randy, I have faith in you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. But I want to surprise you because I already showed Jared one thumbnail earlier. I already showed you one thumbnail earlier, but I wanted to surprise you, Jared, live.
Oh, really?
Yep, give me just a moment to pull it up. Take over for a bit while I'm pulling this up.
So anyway, what other stories would you guys like for us to do? Because we do go by what you all want because it's content. Yes. Oh God, yes. I'm so down for that.
And
oh, that's a great idea. They kind of did that in the New 52.
Because since Godkiller, we kind of based him off Kratos from God of War. This would technically be Diana's version of God of War 2.
I guess, yeah, that would work.
Yeah, I just New Direction, Rebirth.
Don't do it. That's it. That's how you fix it.
Tevia, who do you think Godkiller was based on?
Yeah, over Nemo. And do you want me to do New Direction death metal? Oh boy.
Don't tempt me because I have some thumbnail ideas. Don't tempt me.
Don't you make him make a thumbnail.
Wonder Woman became the goddess of truth after death metal. I think she was invited to join the quintessence in Valhalla. The goddess
Yeah,
of truth
that
was
doesn't mean
arguably
she was the goddess of truth.
New Direction metal. Okay, Tevi, that's going too far. That's going too far. Come on.
No, it's not. Here's how New Direction versus Future's End. Don't do it. That's the New Direction. No direction. There you go. We're better than DC's editorial. And the person that proposes that story, when he comes into our office to talk about it, we just throw them out. We just laugh them out, going, ha ha, come back. We have a serious idea. New Direction Beast Wars.
I'm waiting to see how Beast World ends before whether or not we.
For a second there, I thought it meant Transformers Beast Wars. But Nemo's.
You're gonna get us copyrighted.
Yeah, do stories like New Direction, but with different, like World's Finest, but with different duos. That could be fun. Trinity War. I love that story. I would love to do that one. That was my first DC trade I ever owned.
Okay. Now, this is not in relation to the New Direction verse. It's not related, but this is a sneak peek to a future video I plan in the next couple of months. And I just want the chat's opinion on it.
World's Deadliest, Deadshot, and Deathstroke. Green Pals.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Where is it?
There ain't no lie there, dude. There is no lie.
Randy, you do. Should I show him, Jared?
Oh, yes. I think you should.
All right, give me just a second. Take over for a bit.
Oh, trust me. We have some ideas for that involves a certain honeymoon. Oh, trust me. That's going to be really, really interesting. I don't know. We'll see. I think you guys are really gonna enjoy what we have cooking up, particularly when Tevia says New Direction Forever Evil. We could do that. Tom King's Wonder Woman New Direction could be fun. Oh boy. I have some words on that. Like Wonder Woman actually sounds like a human being instead of an emotionless automaton.
Wait, wouldn't that be Lois Lane?
The emotional automaton part? Yes.
Where was it?
Oh, by the way, Jay Heat, real quick, did you see what I put in the chat about the Halo devs?
I did.
For those that don't know, so they're adding a bunch of new helmets to Halo, and they took a shot at the TV show by saying, I know there's a lot of talk about the helmets, but our helmets stay on. The war against Earth 3, but Ultraman has a pre-crisis powers. That's a good idea. Yes, there you go. Warworld Saga. We already had that plan. I got to talk to you guys after stream about some juicy stuff that I want to run by you, Jared. Okay. Question: will you have Trinity be Wonder Woman's actual daughter? No, because we are. Hippolyta is Trinity. Tom King stole it from us. Hippolyta is Trinity. Except we came first.
You couldn't have worded that more poorly if you tried.
I know.
I'm not going to say it. Thank you, Randy. Thank you. Thank you. But I agree. Yara Flor should take on a new title instead of Wonder Girl.
Yeah, because there's like 2 Wonder Girls right now.
Arguably 3. But I also have a New Direction Green Arrow coming out. Green Lantern we have already done. If you please check out our playlist. We already did an episode on Green Lantern. Donna Troy became a Titan. But I feel like this is about the time we should get to final
thoughts. That was fun. It has we created a better narrative than the actual Flash movie. I think Cassie would stay Wonder Girl because she fits in it. Yeah, that's generally the way I would do it.
And also be sure to check out our first Elseworld of New Direction versus New Direction Deceased.
And by the way, Nemo, I would just call Donna Troy Troy or Troya because that was like her own identity that she had in there, and it was actually really cool. I liked that.
I agree. As final thoughts for me, thank you all for enjoying the show with us. And I feel like this is a new direction for, pun intended, for Barry Allen, for Iris. And even though Thawne will find some way to escape, let's just say a crisis is looming.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, Jared, any final thoughts and what you got coming up on the channel?
All right. So what I have coming up on the channel is Britt and I talked about how to fix DC if we were put in charge now, and basically involves building DC as it stands now with the current continuity and everything to Super Wonder. Then my next commentary is going to be about why Captain America matters as a character. Then I'm going to talk about Friend of Two Capes. We're going to do a retrospective of the Tomorrowverse and like talk extensively about like what the next animated movie universe could be. And in terms of next movie night, it is going to be The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Okay.
So that's it for me.
All right. As for myself, again, I recently started a playthrough on Mass Effect where I have the Legendary Edition. I'm play
Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite stream on the Citadel.
You're going to keep using that catchphrase, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You could follow me on jheat75 on Twitter or X. I refuse to call it that. And yeah, please continue to like, comment, subscribe. I'm also doing SwolTor playthroughs, so please check those out. And I also got some new direction verse content I might have pre-recorded. I'll have Jared on to cover the main stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just go from there. And hopefully we start 2024 off right. Thank you for watching the first New Direction stream of the new year. Like, comment, subscribe. Flame on.
Let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.